Tonight's meeting was more serious than the other ones have been. I was on the other ones virtually, but it's not the same when you're at home listening in because you don't see all the interaction between everybody. How the structure of the meetings are going is getting better so that people actually are learning and it's not just social hour. There's a lot of things for everybody to learn, so including myself, so it's kind of neat to get to learn things that you didn't know you were going to learn at all or had no clue existed. So it's kind of cool. I think it's good that everything's on the table in the meetings. I do also think, though, that sometimes one-on-ones would be a good idea also with Joe and myself and the team member, because some of the things that they may need to hear or that they may have questions on could be things that are more personal, like their financials and different things that are really nobody else's business, and how to function as a business person on that aspect. So I think sometimes one-on-ones are required, but the kind of meetings that we have are very good for everybody because we're all accountable as to what we did, what we didn't do, and what we should be doing. It's hard for me to look at Joe as the owner or broker of record because he was my agent for 6 years. So as the bookkeeper, office manager, it was always my job to eventually give everybody crap if something went wrong. So for me, that separation of him being the broker of record and kind of like being my boss is kind of still surreal for me. So when I give Joe crap, it's usually because he deserves it. And but I'm just not sure if it's all like sticking at times because I have to repeat myself a lot. So I don't know who's old here, him or I. He's taking the constructive criticism quite well. He knows that he's got to learn things that are not typical of what you would learn as an agent. Being broker of record is a huge responsibility, and it doesn't just cover what the agents do. It covers the whole company, all the aspects of absolutely everything. So it's a slow process in a way because there's so much information, and a lot of it he's going to gain as he gets more experience in his role as being the broker of record, dealing with the agents and possibly RICO and different things, different aspects of what goes on in an agent's life. So I think that it's kind of fun to watch him grow and watch him start to understand why we do things the way we do things. There's many times I'll say, no, you can't do this because blah, 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 blah. And I don't think he knew the reasons why we the office people, would do things certain ways, but everything has a sequence of deadlines, of different things that make everything make sense in the long run. So for him to see that whole aspect of what it is to run a whole brokerage, it takes a bit of time because not everybody just, even though you take the courses, what you see as an agent in a brokerage is very different than what you see as a broker of record. I think it's good that Joe is transparent at the meetings, and I can not really make fun of him, but bring up some of the things he's not so good at, because that way all the other people can see that he's approachable. He's not just the figurehead at the top of the business going, do this, do that, because I said so. He's also making mistakes. He's also learning on a daily basis, which I think helps everybody look at what they're doing and going, okay, if he can learn, so can I. And I think, too, that in a way it's kind of cool because he's got such a character that's, he's good with the criticism, and we can do it so it's not like I'm totally ticked off and he's totally like, I'm not listening to you because I'm the broker of record. That's never happened. So I think it's a good thing that we can bring up stuff because it makes everybody understand that running a brokerage and being who he is, he still has to be accountable on so many different ways, and he will make mistakes just like they do. Having to tell Joe over and over again about receipt of funds, and is his upbringing, so to speak, into the real estate world. I don't know why he wasn't filling out the forms properly before, so I think he's got a bit of a mental block as to what really needs to happen. So I think by breaking it down and maybe teasing him a bit about Kevin getting it and Cole getting it, that maybe he'll, if they could get it, obviously he should get it. I think a bit of the problem is that some of these forms, you just see them as something you got to fill out because that's, you put this here, there, but you don't exactly understand why. So by my going through where the money's coming from and where it's going to, already open them up to knowing that there's 2 accounts that obviously are going to be used. And where the process of it all happens is also something that I don't think a realtor would have thought about it. So he's been in the trenches longer, and he's picked up some bad habits, obviously, along the way. I was not working with him on a day-to-day basis, because if he had been in Fort Erie, he would know receipt of funds pretty good by now. I need to improve, obviously, my presence on social media. I tend to go gung-ho, and then I pull back, and then I go back at it, and then I pull back. And sometimes I just get confused, and I'm thinking, did I pick up the right thing? Did I do the right thing? So I need to find more time with that. But like I mentioned a few weeks ago, is I'm trying to find balance in my life. So as I'm knocking off things that are my to-dos of little jobs here and there, I'm starting to get a little bit more time where I can actually find the time to get more involved with different things. I have a lot of things on my docket because I've had several jobs or little jobs here and there. I've done some sewing, I've done all kinds of things. So I need to finish up some of that stuff so I can jump in and really learn everything. So my goal this week is to get more of my to-do list done that is personal and for other little businesses, and also by keeping up with Right Choices paperwork and everything that it involves, including all the financials and everything else. So it's not just entering deals, it's a whole lot more to do. And there's some times where I'm just tired. So hopefully I can accomplish a lot more all the way around, so that as the days go by, it gets easier and better for me to accomplish all the things that I actually do want to accomplish for myself and for Right Choice. I had a great week. The fence, that's been an ongoing project. I worked about 400 hours to pay for it and finally got it up, and it's gorgeous. And then I'm putting tall grasses in the middle of each plank, not plank, but the middle of the 8 feet section. And eventually they'll be 12 feet tall and wider. So I'll have a living fence inside the wooden fence. So now I have to turn my vegetable gardens, and I've turned 4, I still got a few more to go. And it was intensely humid and hot and horrible that way, but I still stuck it out. Did as much as I could.